Imagine holding a tiny piece of copper in your hand, a coin that once jingled in the pockets of ordinary Americans, a penny that silently witnessed decades of history, yet today it carries secrets worth more than gold. 3 coins, 3 stories, each one breathing life into the heart of American numismatic treasure. The 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny, the 1946 Lincoln Wheat Penny, and the 1951 Lincoln Wheat Penny. Coins that seem so simple, so ordinary, yet beneath their worn surfaces hides the pulse of fortune, mystery, and legacy. Collectors whisper their names, treasure hunters dream of finding them, and experts from PCGS and NGC marvel at their perfect strikes and rare minting errors. These coins are not just currency. They are silent storytellers of a nation's past. Each swirl, each mark, each mint shine tells a tale of craftsmanship, luck, and timeless value. So stay close, because in this journey you're about to uncover how a single penny, forgotten in drawers and jars across America, could change everything you thought you knew about value, history, and destiny itself. Welcome to the world where rare coins come alive. Welcome to World Rare Coin. There is something almost magical about the sound of a coin dropping into your palm, the soft metallic ring that feels ordinary yet carries the weight of time. Picture this: a small copper coin born in 1957, a year of change, a year when America was full of hope. Music filled the airwaves, new dreams filled the hearts of families, and somewhere in the middle of it all, a single Lincoln Wheat Penny rolled off the minting press, shining with pride and promise. This tiny coin was not just a piece of currency. It was a witness to the American dream, carrying Abraham Lincoln's face, a reminder of freedom and perseverance. Minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, each version holding its own story, its own rarity, its own whisper of destiny. Now imagine finding one of these pennies in your old collection, maybe in your grandfather's drawer, or in a dusty jar of change. You look closer, and something about it feels different. The color, the texture, the detail sharper, deeper, like it was frozen in time. This is where the journey begins, because among millions of ordinary 1957 wheat pennies, a few rare ones exist, the kind that make numismatists around the world hold their breath. Coins so perfectly struck, so untouched by time, that their value reaches beyond imagination. One such coin, graded by PCGS as flawless, has been valued at nearly $7 million. Yes, $7 million for a penny that once bought a piece of candy. But the secret lies in the details, the condition, the story hidden within its copper skin. Every coin collector knows that value is born not just from age, but from rarity, from perfection, from the touch of time that never quite left its mark. When you study the 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny, you start to see why it's special. Made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, it weighs about 3.11 grams. It measures 19 millimeters in diameter and has a thickness of 1.5 millimeters. Simple numbers, yet they represent the balance of precision and art from an era where every coin mattered. The obverse side carries Lincoln's calm and thoughtful gaze, while the reverse side proudly displays 2 wheat stalks, framing the words 1 cent and United States of America, a design that ended just 2 years later in 1959, replaced by the Lincoln Memorial Cent, making the 1957 wheat penny one of the last witnesses to a historic design era. But what makes one coin worth millions while others are worth only a cent? The answer hides in the world of grading, a world where experts at PCGS and NGC analyze every curve, every mint mark, every reflection of light across the surface. Coins graded mint state 65 and above, especially those with no visible marks or signs of wear, become treasures. And if a coin happens to have a rare die error, or was struck with extraordinary sharpness, its value skyrockets. The 1957 D mint mark, especially when doubled or misaligned, is among the most hunted by collectors. These minting errors, tiny and almost invisible to the untrained eye, can change everything. Now imagine you send your coin to PCGS, and it returns graded as Mint State 67 Red, glowing with brilliance, untouched by time. The red designation means its copper shine remains bright and original, without the fading or toning that happens over decades. Suddenly, your penny transforms from common change into a numismatic masterpiece. Dealers begin to whisper, collectors start to call, and auction houses prepare for a bidding war. You realize that what once felt like pocket change could be the key to a fortune, and more importantly, a piece of living history. And there's more. When you look at a coin through the eyes of a numismatist, you see beyond its surface. You feel the connection to the people who once held it. Maybe it passed through the hands of a child buying candy in the late 50s, or a worker receiving change at a diner. Maybe it sat forgotten in a coin roll, waiting for someone like you to rediscover it, to give it a new story. The story of a collector who found a treasure among the ordinary. That is the spirit of numismatics, the art of finding meaning in metal, of holding history in your hand. Many collectors today are learning how to identify these rare coins, looking for that perfect combination of sharp details, clean surfaces, and full mint luster. Under magnification, they study Lincoln's hair, the lines of his coat, the clarity of the wheat ears on the reverse. Even the rim of the coin tells a story. If it's sharp, full, and unbroken, it means the coin was struck with precision, a sign of quality that grading companies reward. And as grading rises, so does value exponentially, making a small difference in detail worth thousands or even millions to sell such a coin. You need the right path. Not every marketplace will understand its worth. You need trusted platforms like Heritage Auctions, Great Collections, or Stack's Bowers, places where numismatic experts and serious buyers come together. These auctions often attract global collectors, each one searching for the next hidden gem. But before selling, always certify. Never part with a coin of this magnitude without PCGS or NGC authentication. It's your shield, your guarantee, your passport to the real collector's world. Once certified, your coin becomes more than metal. It becomes history you can trade. And as you listen, maybe you're thinking, could I have one of these pennies? Could there be a small fortune waiting in an old jar or a forgotten roll? Yes, it happens more often than you think. The rare 1957 wheat penny can appear anywhere, and sometimes even in circulated condition. It carries premium value depending on its mint mark and grade. But when you find one that shines bright, with that deep copper glow, that crisp Lincoln portrait, and that perfect wheat reverse, you might just be holding one of the rarest coins ever struck, the kind that changes lives and tells stories. Generations will remember. The mystery of this coin doesn't stop there, because hidden within its history are subtle minting details that most overlook. Some 1957 pennies were struck with slightly off-center dies, giving the design a shadowed look. Others were struck with full brilliance, preserved through decades in sealed mint sets, and those are the ones collectors crave. Imagine the journey of that penny, untouched for over 60 years, passed through time like a secret whisper, waiting for the right collector to find it. As the story of the 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny deepens, we step further into the heart of American numismatic passion, a world where history, art, and destiny blend into a single piece of copper. Each coin minted that year carried more than a face value. It carried the silent heartbeat of a country that believed in dreams. And today, those dreams are alive again in the hands of collectors who understand their worth. Think about it. Every coin that left the mint was touched by precision machines, yet only a handful survived the decades without a single blemish. These survivors are miracles of preservation, untouched by wear, glowing with the same luster they had in 1957. And among them, a few have crossed the threshold into legendary status, commanding values of up to $7 million. But this value isn't just about money. It's about history, rarity, and human fascination. You see, in the world of coins, the concept of perfection is sacred. Grading systems created by PCGS and NGC aren't just technical. They're emotional measures of time itself. Mint State 67 Red. Mint State 68. Each number carries the weight of decades. The sharper the strike, the deeper the luster. The purer the red copper tone, the closer a collector gets to owning perfection. And perfection in numismatics means immortality. That's why experts spend years studying every detail, under magnifying lamps and precision tools, because every tiny imperfection tells a story. A small nick from mint handling, a faint discoloration from air exposure. Each factor can raise or lower a coin's value dramatically. The 1957 wheat penny, especially with the Denver mint mark, often carries the secret of its brilliance in the strike itself. Denver's minting quality in the 50s was exceptional, producing coins with sharp reliefs and clean details. That's why so many collectors chase the 1957D version. And if you find one graded by PCGS or NGC in gem condition, you might be holding one of the few examples capable of changing your life forever. But let's not forget, not all rare coins are perfect. Some owe their rarity to the beautiful chaos of minting errors, double dies, off-center strikes, repunched mint marks, and even planche flaws. Each mistake tells a story of a moment when the machine, the die, or the press slipped, and history accidentally created treasure. Many collectors believe that the rarest finds are not in auctions, but in the hands of ordinary people hidden in old coin jars, inherited from grandparents who saved every penny. Imagine the scene, an attic filled with boxes, the air thick with dust and memory. You open one expecting only junk, but there it is, a small coin roll wrapped in faded paper. You open it, and light catches something different, a copper tone brighter, sharper, more alive. Your heart races. Could it be? Could this simple penny be one of the legendary 1957 wheat pennies worth millions? And that's when the true collector's instinct awakens. The moment when curiosity turns into discovery. The world of numismatics teaches patience and precision. To truly know a coin, you must observe its weight, feel its balance, understand its composition. The 1957 wheat penny, with its 95% copper core, carries the warmth of genuine metal, a density you can feel between your fingers. Weighing precisely 3.11 grams, with a diameter of 19 millimeters and a thickness of 1.5, every dimension whispering authenticity. These numbers may seem small, but they separate real coins from counterfeits. They define quality, and they anchor the coin's identity in time. When a collector examines a coin under magnification, the edges, the rim, the details of Lincoln's portrait, the spacing between letters, all reveal the truth. And that truth determines value for the passionate collector. Learning about coin grading is a journey in itself. PCGS and NGC use scales from 1 to 70, where 70 is absolute perfection, a state so rare it almost never exists, and when it does, prices explode beyond comprehension. A 1957 penny graded mint state 67 red by PCGS once sold for over $7,000. And another with extraordinary luster and flawless surfaces has been rumored to fetch millions at private auctions. But even if your coin grades slightly lower, say mint state 64 or 65, its value can still be remarkable, proving that beauty and preservation matter as much as age. Oh, how do you know if you have one? The first step is visual inspection. Under good light, examine Lincoln's cheekbone, jawline, and hair. If they appear sharp and clear, with no signs of flattening, your coin is in strong condition. Next, look at the fields, the flat areas around Lincoln's portrait. If they shine like mirrors with minimal marks, you may have an uncirculated gem. Then, inspect the wheat stalks on the reverse. They should be crisp, with every line visible. This is where the artistry of the mint truly shows. And it's what separates a common penny from a treasure. And here's where the story turns even more fascinating. Because every collector's discovery becomes part of a larger narrative, the ongoing search for America's hidden history. The 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny symbolizes the spirit of the everyday person, a reminder that greatness often hides in simplicity. This coin traveled through time quietly, crossing generations, passing from hand to hand, until one day it returned to the light, proving that patience, passion, and curiosity can uncover wonders. That's what numismatics is all about, not just collecting metal, but collecting moments. Selling such a coin requires care and timing. Don't rush. Once your coin is graded by PCGS or NGC, store it properly, in airtight holders or certified slabs. Then connect with reputable auction houses like Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, or Great Collections. Each of these platforms provides expert evaluation and connects you to serious buyers. They understand the emotional and historical value behind your coin. They present it not as an object but as a story, and stories sell. That's why presentation matters. High-quality photos, proper certification, and historical context can make all the difference. And when that auction day comes, when your coin's photo appears on the screen, and the bidding begins, you realize this is more than a sale. It's the moment your discovery becomes part of American coin history. The hammer drops and the crowd gasps. You've done what every collector dreams of. You've turned a penny into a piece of legacy, into living history that will outlast generations. This is the magic that keeps coin collectors searching. Every penny could be the one, every discovery a spark of hope, and somewhere out there, a 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny still waits to be found, shining quietly, tucked in a forgotten roll, ready to remind the world that even the smallest treasures can carry the greatest value. And if you're listening right now, maybe you feel that spark too. Maybe tonight you'll check your old coin jar, your family album, your attic. Maybe you'll find something that tells your own story. Because this journey never ends, it only grows with every discovery. And as long as there are coins left to find, there will be stories to tell, and voices like ours to share them, so don't stop exploring. Keep learning, keep collecting, and remember to subscribe to World Rare Coin, where every week we uncover the rarest treasures hidden in plain sight, where stories of pennies, quarters, and dollars turn into legends, where you, the viewer, become part of the collector's journey. Like, comment, and share this story with other treasure hunters. Let them feel the thrill of discovery. Let them know that history is alive, waiting in the palm of your hand, because here, in the world of coins, every mark, every shine, every curve tells a story, and every collector is part of something timeless. This is not just about money. It's about the beauty of history, the art of preservation, and the power of curiosity. The 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny reminds us that sometimes the smallest things hold the greatest worth, and that the value of a coin is not just measured in dollars, but in the wonder it brings to those who believe in its story. This is World Rare Coin, where every coin has a voice and every collector has a dream. There are moments in history when something simple carries the power to tell a nation's story. A small piece of copper, forged in the aftermath of war, holds within it the whispers of a generation rebuilding its dreams. This is the story of the 1946 Lincoln Wheat Penny, a coin born from hope, from change, from the fire of industry that once powered America through its toughest times. It looks ordinary at first glance, just another penny. But beneath its faded copper glow lies a secret, a rarity that has captured the imagination of collectors across the world. And for those who have truly studied its mystery, the value of this coin is not just measured in dollars. It is measured in history, in resilience, and in the pure artistry of American mintingas. You hold this coin. Imagine the world of 1946. The war had just ended. Soldiers returned home, families reunited, factories shifted from weapons to peacetime production, and the United States Mint resumed its normal rhythm, striking millions of coins for a nation eager to move forward. But among those countless 1946 pennies, a few emerged different, flawless, perfectly struck, preserved against all odds, and those few, when discovered decades later, became symbols of perfection, of beauty, and of hidden fortune. One such coin, graded by PCGS in mint state perfection, reached an astonishing $9 million value, a number that makes collectors pause, breathe, and dream. The 1946 Wheat Penny carries Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse, sharp and thoughtful, surrounded by the familiar words, "In God We Trust." Liberty and the date, 1946, below his neck. A small mint mark may appear, D for Denver or S for San Francisco, while others have none, meaning they were struck in Philadelphia. Each mint location adds a subtle variation, a nuance that numismatists study like historians read ancient texts. On the reverse side, two wheat stalks curve gracefully around the words 1 cent, United States of America, and a pluribus unum, the design, by Victor David Brenner, speaks of unity and simplicity, a fitting symbol for a nation healing from war. But what makes the 1946 penny so special is not only its design, it's the story hidden in its metal. During the war years of 1943, pennies were made from steel due to copper shortages. But by 1946, copper had returned, yet traces of that wartime scarcity still lingered. Some coins were struck using leftover planchets or slightly altered alloys, giving them a distinct appearance and feel. Collectors have reported unique tonal variations, subtle shifts in color and sheen, that reveal the complex transition from war to peace. And when these rare variations combine with pristine mint condition, you have something extraordinary, something that transcends the boundaries of simple coinage in numismatics. Condition is everything, and grading defines destiny. Coins are examined under magnification. Their surface is studied for luster, strike quality, and preservation. A 1946 wheat penny in mint state, 67 red condition is already rare, but when it crosses into the territory of absolute perfection, mint state 68 or higher, it becomes a legend. PCGS and NGC, the world's leading grading authorities, use advanced imaging and comparison systems to determine such grades. And when one of these coins achieves that status, its value can multiply exponentially, from hundreds to thousands, and from thousands to millions, each grade point telling a story of how untouched, how unblemished, how time-defying the coin has remained. The 1946 penny weighs about 3.11 grams, with a diameter of 19 millimeters and a thickness of 1.5 millimeters, composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. It feels warm in the hand, dense yet delicate. When light touches its surface, a red glow often reflects from high-grade examples, known in the collecting world as red luster. This brilliance is the soul of copper, preserved through generations, and it's this very glow that separates a common penny from a priceless one. To see it under proper lighting is to witness art frozen in metal, and every collector who sees it knows the thrill of discovery. Many of the most valuable 1946 wheat pennies owe their fame to minting anomalies, subtle errors that escape the eyes of mint inspectors. One of the most famous is the doubled die obverse, where Lincoln's features and inscriptions appear slightly shadowed or doubled due to a misalignment in the die. Such coins, though rare, have sold for astonishing sums. Another variant involves repunched mint marks, where the D or S appears doubled or offset, adding intrigue and value. Collectors call these small imperfections the fingerprints of history, because they capture the human side of minting, the small flaws that turn perfection into legend. And so, the story continues. Imagine a collector finding a dusty coin album passed down from a grandfather, flipping through pages filled with wheat pennies, most brown and worn, until one shines brighter. The details crisp, the color vibrant, the year 1946 standing bold. At that moment, excitement floods the room. Heartbeats quicken, magnifiers come out, and soon, curiosity becomes obsession. That's how every great discovery begins, a small spark of wonder that turns into a lifetime of passion. What makes the 1946 penny even more fascinating is its connection to the post-war economy. Millions of these coins circulated through the rebuilding era, exchanged for bread, milk, newspapers, and candy. They touched the lives of people starting anew. And when you hold one, you're holding a fragment of that story, a tangible link to an America rediscovering its rhythm. Collectors don't just see a coin. They feel the energy of a nation within it. That's why numismatics is more than a hobby. It's a form of time travel, and when it comes to selling, patience and preparation are everything. Before you even consider listing such a coin, certification is key. PCGS or NGC grading gives your coin the recognition and trust it deserves. Once certified, protect it from air, moisture, and handling. Use coin slabs or airtight holders to preserve its luster, and when the time comes, Connect with auction houses that understand true numismatic value. Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, Great Collections. These are the names that turn coins into headlines, and if you choose the right platform, your story joins the legends that inspire millions of collectors worldwide. Every great collector knows that discovery is only the beginning. Once the coin is found, once its surface gleams beneath the lamp, the real adventure begins, because every detail you uncover adds another layer to its legend. The 1946 wheat penny whispers secrets through its texture, the faint ridges around its rim, the gentle rise of Lincoln's profile, the subtle grain that tells whether it was struck with full force or just a shade less, under magnification. The story unfolds like a map, and the deeper you look, the more alive it becomes for those who have handled thousands of pennies. The 1946 stands apart. Its copper seems warmer, its color deeper, perhaps because it carries the first breath of peace after the long years of conflict. Collectors often say that when you tilt it under light, it glows differently, like the reflection of a sunrise after the storm. That glow, that radiance, is what numismatists call original luster, a living sheen born from the striking process itself, untouched by time. And when that luster survives 70-plus years, it becomes proof of care, patience, and luck grading. This coin is an art as much as a science. The experts at PCGS and NGC examine not only surface marks but also strike sharpness, color, and eye appeal. A coin that earns a red designation and a mint state 67 or better grade is a phenomenon. There are very few in existence, and when one surfaces, the news spreads across collector forums like wildfire. Bidding wars erupt, prices climb beyond imagination, because these coins are more than objects. They are moments, perfectly preserved. Little copper windows into 1946, but the magic of the 1946 penny doesn't end with condition alone. It also lies in its minting anomalies. Somewhere in those busy post-war mints, dies were reused, adjusted, sometimes misaligned, and in those fleeting mechanical errors, history left fingerprints. A repunched S mint mark, a faint doubling of the date, a small misstrike that shifts the rim ever so slightly. These details create the difference between ordinary and priceless, and collectors chase them like explorers. Chase lost maps. Imagine attending a coin show in the United States. Rows of gleaming cases, the air buzzing with quiet excitement. A dealer slides open a tray and reveals a single coin encased in clear plastic. The label reads, 1946 D. Lincoln Cent, MS 67 Red PCGS. And the crowd leans closer. Cameras flash. Whispers ripple through the room, because everyone there understands what that means. It means rarity. It means perfection achieved when no one expected it. And somewhere in that moment you realize that coins are not just metal. They are emotion crystallized, stories you can hold in your hands. Selling a coin of this magnitude is not about rushing into profit. It's about presenting it with respect. Heritage auction platforms, numismatic conventions, and reputable dealers provide the safest paths. A collector should document the coin's journey. Photographs under proper lighting. Certification numbers. Provenance if known, all these details increase trust and final value. And when you finally decide to sell, the listing is more than a transaction. It's a tribute to history, even after sale. The story continues because every buyer becomes a new guardian, keeping the coin safe for another generation. Perhaps decades from now, another collector will find it again. Read your notes, see your name in the provenance, and feel the same thrill you feel today. That continuity is what makes coin collecting timeless. And if you are listening right now, maybe something stirs inside you. Maybe you remember that old jar of coins tucked in a kitchen drawer, or a small box handed down by a relative. Maybe it's time to look, because treasures do not announce themselves. They wait, silently, until curiosity brings them to light. And who knows, Perhaps your hands will uncover the next miracle penny, the next 1946 wheat cent that will rewrite what you thought possible to care for such a coin. Always use cotton gloves. Never clean it. Never polish the surface. Cleaning destroys the natural toning that collectors prize. Instead, store it in a cool, dry place, away from air and moisture. Numismatists use inert holders or slabs to prevent oxidation. Copper breathes. It reacts with air, so protection is everything. Each small act of preservation honors the craft of the mint and the journey of the coin. And as you listen, remember this truth. The real value of the 1946 Lincoln Wheat Penny is not just its $9 million potential. It is the reminder that even the smallest objects can carry great history, that patience, knowledge, and curiosity can turn ordinary moments into extraordinary discoveries, that behind every coin there is a heartbeat, the echo of hands that once spent it, saved it, and passed it along. So keep your eyes open, keep learning, and if this story sparks your passion, join the growing family of collectors here at World Rare Coin, where each episode brings another legend from the vaults of time, where copper, silver, and gold tell the story of America itself. Like, share, and subscribe. Become part of the adventure, because in this world every penny counts, every discovery matters, and every collector writes the next chapter of history. This is World Rare Coin, where the past still shines, waiting in the palm of your hand. The year was 1951, a time when America was moving through change, dreams were growing, and simple coins like the Lincoln Wheat Penny were part of every pocket, every moment, every story. But who could have imagined that one small coin from that year, a single copper piece, would someday rise to legendary status among collectors? A coin that carried not just value, but a secret that connects history, art, and human touch. This is not just any penny. This is the 1951 Lincoln Wheat Penny, a treasure that turned the humble into the extraordinary. And somewhere, maybe in a drawer, a box, or hidden jar, another just like it might be waiting to be discovered. Imagine it, that soft gleam of aged copper, the scent of time, the faint texture of wheat ears on the reverse, those tiny engraved lines that speak of dedication and pride. Every detail crafted by the United States Mint to honor Abraham Lincoln, the man who stood for freedom and unity. And yet, no one knew that the 1951 version of this simple coin would one day be the center of fascination, obsession, and fortune. Collectors whisper about it, dealers chase it, and numismatists study its every curve under magnifiers. The 1951 Wheat Penny, minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, is made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. It weighs around 3.11 grams, with a diameter of 19 millimeters. A small coin, yet so full of life. But among the millions struck that year, only a few carry the magic that transforms a 1-cent piece into a 7-figure masterpiece. And that's where the story begins. What makes a 1951 penny so valuable? You ask, it's not just age, not just rarity. It's the combination of condition, minting quality, and the presence of subtle variations or mint errors. A small doubling on Lincoln's eye, a shifted strike, or a faint repunching on the mint mark. These details, invisible to most eyes, are the difference between a coin worth 1 cent and one worth a fortune. And that's where grading comes in, a term that separates dreamers from professionals. Professional coin grading services like PCGS and Numismatic Guarantee Company, known as NGC, are the guardians of authenticity and condition. They assign grades from poor all the way up to mint state 70. And that number, that single grade, can change everything. A 1951 penny graded MS68 red by PCGS, for instance, can command life-changing sums, while the same coin with small wear drops in value drastically. It's all in the details: the color, the shine, the luster, the sharpness of the strike. Everything matters. Now picture this. A collector walks into a small coin show in Pennsylvania. His eyes catch a glimmer among hundreds of coins, A 1951 Lincoln Wheat Penny with an unusual brightness. Almost untouched by time, he looks closer. The rim is perfect, the lettering sharp, the wheat ears crisp. It's not just a coin, it's a preserved moment from the past. He decides to send it to PCGS weeks later. It returns sealed in that iconic clear holder labeled MS68 red. And suddenly, this simple penny is valued at more than most cars. It's a moment that defines every collector's dream. But why do these coins survive in such perfect form? It's because some people, long before the world of modern coin trading began, had the instinct to save them. Rolls of pennies kept untouched, stored in banks, collections, or attics. These untouched coins became time capsules, and when rediscovered, they reveal the beauty that the mint intended. Coins with original luster, pure copper red tones, and zero contact marks, the kind that grading experts admire. The design of the 1951 penny remains one of the most loved in American history. Victor David Brenner's portrait of Abraham Lincoln, strong and noble, stands on the obverse, while two wheat ears frame the words, 1 cent on the reverse, a symbol of growth, harvest, and American resilience, minted at a time when every cent mattered. These pennies told stories of family, work, and hope. But who could have known that within their ranks lay the ones destined for greatness? Let's talk about the mint marks. The Philadelphia coins carry no mint mark. The Denver ones carry a small D beneath the date, and San Francisco coins carry an S. Yet among these, variations exist. Some Denver coins show a repunched mint mark, known to collectors as RPM. Others display faint doubling on the obverse, sometimes on Lincoln's date or letters like Liberty. And when authenticated, these small quirks raise value exponentially. And the thrill of discovery, that's what drives collectors. Imagine looking through a box of old coins from your grandparents and finding a shiny 1951 penny with full red color, perfect rims, and no scratches. You might think it's just another old coin, but under a magnifier you might spot that magical sign, a tiny error, a perfect strike, or maybe a mint mark variety. And suddenly you're holding a piece worth thousands or even millions. The excitement never fades. The 1951 wheat penny, valued at $13 million in rare condition, is the crown jewel, the highest graded and most pristine example known, a symbol of how the right mix of luck, preservation, and rarity can rewrite the story of a humble cent. Its sales stunned the numismatic world, sparking renewed passion among collectors. People realized again that the smallest things, when preserved, can hold the greatest worth. If you ever wish to sell such a coin, remember, authenticity and condition are everything. Never clean the coin, never polish or alter it. Those tiny scratches from cleaning destroy numismatic value instantly. The right way is to have it authenticated and graded by PCGS or NGC, and once graded, you can list it on reputable auction platforms like Heritage Auctions, Great Collections, or Stack's Bowers, or even approach major dealers through the American Numismatic Association network. These trusted venues connect genuine buyers and collectors worldwide. And let's not forget condition. Grading is not just about shine, it's about originality. Mint state coins maintain their original red copper tone. Known in grading as RD, slightly toned coins fall into RB or brown categories, and that difference can mean thousands. So when you hear collectors say, "I found a red 1951, it means they've found a gem. Now think about the thickness. Just 1.52 millimeters. Light, thin yet dense with history. The coin's edges smooth. Its weight of 3.11 grams balanced, and its diameter 19 millimeters. This isn't just a number. It's the fingerprint of American minting precision, a design that carried the same heart for over half a century. And though the wheat reverse ended in 1958, its legacy still fuels collectors' passion today. So the story deepens. The 1951 Lincoln Wheat Penny, a small copper relic of the past, has traveled through hands, through decades, through families who never imagined the hidden worth of what they carried. And even now, somewhere in a forgotten jar or dusty box, another one might be waiting to rewrite its owner's destiny. That is what makes numismatics such a fascinating world. A world where the smallest detail can unlock unimaginable value, where patience and knowledge merge to turn curiosity into discovery, you see. Every coin tells two stories, one of the nation that made it, and one of the people who found it. And in 1951, America was rebuilding dreams. The war was behind, prosperity was growing, and coins like these passed through the hands of soldiers, farmers, teachers, children saving pennies in small jars. It's more than metal. It's memory preserved in copper. And that's why collectors chase these treasures, because they connect us to the pulse of history itself. Now picture the surface of a 1951 penny glowing under soft light, a warm red tone reflecting like aged wine, the texture untouched, the minting marks crisp, the words, "In God We Trust," shining clearly across the top, and the date 1951 standing bold, as if it knew one day it would be sought after. The wheat stalks at the back perfectly detailed, each grain defined, representing abundance and labor, symbols that Lincoln himself would have cherished. These visual cues are what grading experts look for when they judge perfection. PCGS and NGC graders examine each coin under controlled light, magnifiers, and microscopes, evaluating luster, strike, and preservation. When they assign that mint state grade, they are certifying not only a number, but a story of survival, a declaration that this coin has defied time. Coins with full red color, sharp lines, and no marks earn the highest praise. And those few that reach mint state 68 or above become legends, changing the life of whoever holds them. The journey of the 13 million 1951 wheat penny began in such a way. A simple collector who refused to sell, who stored his rolls in a temperature-controlled box, protected from air and moisture. Decades later, when experts opened it, they found coins as fresh as the day they were minted. The discovery shook the coin world. The auction houses went silent as the bids climbed higher and higher. And when the final number appeared, it wasn't just a price. It was a symbol, a realization that value is not always visible to the naked eye. Sometimes it hides in the smallest places. Now let's talk about how to identify your own 1951 treasure. First, check the mint mark beneath the date. No mark means Philadelphia, a D means Denver, an S means San Francisco. Then inspect under magnification. Look at the date, the letters of liberty, the edges of Lincoln's coat. If you see any doubling or shadowing, that could indicate a double die or repunched mint mark. Next, check the color. The redder the copper, the higher the grade potential. And remember, never clean it, never rub or polish, because cleaning removes the original mint luster that collectors pay for when you find one that looks special. Submit it for grading. PCGS and NGC have easy submission services. You fill out the form, ship the coin securely, and when it returns encapsulated in that transparent slab with the certification number, that's when the value becomes real. You can now list it safely with proof of authenticity. Collectors and auction houses trust graded coins more than raw ones. It's the professional path every serious collector takes. Selling your 1951 Lincoln Wheat Penny should always be done with patience. Approach verified platforms like Heritage Auctions, Stax Bowers, or Great Collections. These are where million-dollar coins find their rightful audience. You can also visit major numismatic conventions in the United States, where top buyers and grading experts attend. These events often lead to private sales, partnerships, and museum acquisitions. Your one coin could become a historical centerpiece on display, admired by generations to come, and when you sell, make sure to research previous auction records. Study how condition affects final price. Understand that eye appeal matters. Some coins with slightly lower grades but better visual charm can even outprice technically higher grades. This is the emotional art of coin collecting, where beauty and rarity meet, and every buyer feels a personal connection to what they purchase. Now let's touch on something every collector must know: preservation. Copper is reactive. It changes with air and humidity. So always store your 1951 penny in a dry, temperature-controlled space, preferably in an acid-free holder or certified case. Avoid touching it directly with bare hands, because the oils from skin can darken the surface over time. Numismatics is about patience and protection. The better you care for your coins, the more future generations will value them as you hold that penny in your hand. Think about the millions who spent their lives never realizing what small treasures they held. Think about the stories it's seen, the tables it sat on, the cash registers it filled, the pockets it warmed. And yet, through all that, one perfect 1951 penny survived unmarked, uncirculated, timeless. It's not just luck. Its legacy. Collectors often say, coins speak. And this one whispers of diligence, of faith, of craftsmanship. It tells you that even the smallest object, when made with care and preserved with love, can outlast empires, trends, and generations. Maybe that's why the 1951 penny still stirs hearts today, because it reminds us that greatness is not about size. It's about endurance. Now, if you're watching this and you feel that spark, that curiosity, that desire to search through your own coins, to check every date, every mark, then you're already part of this journey. You're already a numismatist in spirit, and who knows, your next find might be the story we tell next on World Rare Coin. So take a look at your collection. Your old jars, your inherited boxes, your change drawers. Maybe among them lies the next 1951 wheat penny worth a fortune. And when you find it, remember, every coin has a story. And your story might just be beginning. And before you leave, remember to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to World Rare Coin. Because every week we uncover new mysteries, new values, and new treasures hidden in plain sight. Your one click helps keep these stories alive, keeps history breathing. And who knows, the next rare coin we reveal might be sitting in your pocket right now. So stay curious, stay passionate, and keep searching, because in the world of rare coins, fortune doesn't always come in gold or silver. Sometimes it comes in copper, aged, humble, and priceless. Just like the 1951 Lincoln Wheat Penny. Welcome again to World Rare Coin, where every coin has a heartbeat and every collector is part of history.